Hey everybody, welcome to the nightly vid. To start the week, we see SPY inside, yet closer to the 2-2 to the downside. Below this, 59569. If so, this would cause us to go into not continuity down, but the potential for that to happen at 58506, the weekly magnitude. So with core retail sales tomorrow morning prior to the open, we'll keep that in mind. The Qs, you'll see, has been grinding up and is closer to a 2-2 reversal to cause these guys to have some problems. Core retail sales tomorrow morning, we'll see how they open up. Dow Jones, you'll see, is closer to the 2-2 week back down as well. The broadening formation as such. Then IBM, closer to the 2-2 week down as well. So we could see the simultaneous 2-2 week to the downside on indexes. And therefore that would change the statistics of what we're seeing so far this month. To start off the week, what we said in our morning session is this. You'll see conflict, right? 20 up, 30 down, 20 up, 30 down, SPY and Qs. The rest of the market's very similar, with some strength to attack, definitive strength in energies. So that being said, the weakest part of the market is your utilities, taking last week's lows, your healthcares, your non-cyclicals, then your real estates. Strongest is energies. So when we go into the energies, there's still a green 2 up week. They're doji. And so we'll keep that in mind. OIH, 2 up and slightly red. And XOP, 2 up green. So energies, when we look at these monthlies, while the market's puking, they're still buying energies is what that tells us. So we'll see if that continues to confirm. But we got a lot of range to go, and obviously Middle East stuff going on to affect those energies. So we will continue to be watching those guys, and we'll see if we have any setups. As far as the retail numbers coming out tomorrow, it's normally your XRT, which is an inside day shooter. And you'll see the levels of reclaim playing off of here. So you can see we've reclaimed these previous highs. So we're going to target ideally down into these lows with the retail numbers coming out. It'd be a 2-2 if those numbers are bad. So we'll see what comes of it. That being said, in your retail sector, you're going to have Carvana inside day setting up. And this is where I need to make sure we get the list going here. We will see Dollar Tree inside day with Dollar General with 5, FIVE. And we will see ANF after the big gap up seller. You can see from right below this open in here, they just got wrecked. 27%. Closer to the shooter month down, closer to a 3-2 down week with the inside day to cause it. And now we'll just quickly, I'm on a time crunch here. I'm making some late dinner. We'll quickly try and get through the rest of these. O'Reilly Auto Parts, closer to an inside month down PMG. It is 2 down week. So we'll put that with Carvana. Chipotle. You see inside data RevStrat the week. So we're going to be starring those two. And we'll see MGM, LVS in your casinos with Win inside day in your casinos after all making some slight higher highs. So we could get RevStrats. You'll see Win pokes up inside. Could become RevStrat week down. If we reject that, would be full time frame continuity. If we go to LVS, we'll see lower highs, so a little weaker. Maybe becomes a shooter week, right? A little more distance. MGM inside day. Maybe reclaims this previous mother bar in here for a 2-go-3. So a lot of maybes in there. We'll see how those numbers come out. But outside of that, there's not, a ton of interest from me on the rest of those. Maybe Skechers, SKX. But you can see they're like buyout or something, doing nothing. So that's in the retail sector. Now let's take a look at the rest of your inside days here. We will see Meta inside day. Could become 2-2 week down. It's a little stronger so far. Lockheed Martin with the war news. That's something we'll want to know about for the Hammer 3-2. Will tell us some other names. We'll see if they're on the list. Goldman Sachs will be an inside day in the banks. DE, inside day in your Dow Jones after some slightly higher highs. So if they continue down tomorrow, these are all names that could go inside down with the Dow Jones and other names that were weaker. 2-2, big inside day, high volatility. Trying to just get through these as fast as we can in here. Let's see now. High volatility names, HIMS. Let's see. And as always, if you're watching the vid, you can always skip to the end to get the short list if that is what you're interested in. So you're pretty correct about the BABA move so far in here. That's an interesting one in the Chiners. Outside of that, there's a lot of low volatility names that are inside days in here, which does make sense with all the inside weeks we've been having recently. At least to start off the new week. Just gonna quickly scroll through. All right, so maybe QUBT if you're looking for high vol names with HIMS. That being said, see if we have any good rev strats setting up for tomorrow. CRM, that's the nice rev strat there, which could cause 2-week inside down, could cause a 2-2 month. Would it have full time from continuity? I believe it would. So we'll put a star next to it. Williams Sonoma. In the retail space, that could also become rev strat day with full time from continuity, causing a 3-week inside bar break. And it'll be actually 3-2 week to the downside. If that works, Groupon, Global Payment Networks, my bad, could become 2-2 week down with the rev strat day down. And that could also trigger an inside month down, although it is doji month and we're pretty late into the month to be aware of that. A lot of things that could trigger things. The only one that's pretty weak to start the month, 2 up in red box, which would be a rev strat day down, pretty much just right into this gap here. So not gonna have as much room on it, but maybe they start puking off of that. That's about it for our rev strat shooters. 2 up in red. Let's take a look. We got some energies, which are soft rev strats. Because there's not many shooters in the energies, if any at all. Yeah, so a lot of nobodies in there. In the cyclicals, Gap Clothing, shooter month down. Rev strat day to cause 3-2 down week. So this could cause things to fall apart below 2093, but that's about it on the rev strats, and that's with your Williams Sonoma. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, Gap. All right, let's see to the upside now. What do we got? Visa, which could become rev strat day, but it's inside a week. Elf would become rev strat day back up in the consumer cyclicals, so we can be ready both ways. Outside of that, a lot of nobodies in there, so no two down, not a lot of two down in greens. Let's see, Hammer Rev Strats. Gosh, SEDG, but that's probably not coming back. And there's Vive in there. Not what I normally trade though. So, not a lot to talk about. Just go straight up hammers and see if there's anyone that rejected the selling, which is going to bring in a lot of these Staples utilities, which Staples did end up puking back down. Utilities, you can see they didn't really close the strongest, but there's some. So maybe we see some rotation into the utilities tomorrow, especially if retail numbers are bad. That can definitely happen. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's going to be XLU names, which are AED, AWK, ED, PNW. And they're all going to be similar setup, so that could become a simultaneous break. If energy numbers are bad, you get retail down, utilities up, and staples probably don't come back if energy numbers are bad. So that is what we see, and looks like I did it in just the nick of time. Here is your short list going into tomorrow, and I say short, in a funny way. It's really like we're prepared up or down since we got a lot of inside weeks, and that's the last thing we'll cover here. But you're going to see, when we go to the week, although, 50% of the markets are twos, the other 50% is a one, right? So if we look at the numbers, just go one on the week, 500, right? Two down, 363, two up, 284. So you can see it's like, hey, Alex, the market's going down. I made a ton of money shorting. It's like, yeah, that's awesome. However, most of the market's like going sideways, so things can change really quick. So we'll see what those numbers do for us tomorrow morning, and it will be Wednesday, so we will have the energy numbers, and that's a sector that's hot right now. Go look at the week, right? They're buying that, so we'll see if we confirm or negate that with your energy numbers coming out an hour after the New York Open. That's all I got. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning at Stat Trading, and if you're not there, then I'll see you guys in the nightly vid. Adios.